Hi, today we'll create and deploy a customer portal without coding using an AI agent, AppifyText.ai. So we'll see this AI agent designing, developing, and deploying a web application starting from a textual description of the app. So starting from a prompt, let's say. So let's say we sell services. For example, let's say we are a digital agency or a web agency, and we need a website to share project information with our customers. So our customers log in, they see their projects, each customer only their project, the related tasks, some shared knowledge base, the billing history, something like that. So in a moment we will start, but this is just a preview of the application we are going to build. It's a multi-user, multi-tenant web app. We can manage projects, tasks, knowledge base, invoices. We have two different user roles with different permissions accessing our app. We have employees and customers. Each customer basically can access the same application and database, but only see their projects, their invoices. So that's why we are talking about multi-tenant. This was a preview of the application. You can also easily modify the app using typical no-code tools. For example, here I'm reorganizing the menu. Here I'm working on a form, changing the label for a field. Here I'm adding a new field. Or finally here I'm changing the permissions for a user role. My name is Eugenio Tacchini, I'm a computer scientist, and I teach databases and data science in college. I'm also an entrepreneur with over 20 years of experience in developing no-code, low-code platforms. I founded the no-code platform DaDaBIK many years ago, and also AppifyText.ai 2 years ago. AppifyText.ai is the platform we are using in this video. And by the way, this is the 6th episode of the series AI Agent Builds Apps. Each time we build a different application, so if you have suggestions for the next apps to build, please leave a comment. Okay, let's start. First, visit AppifyText.ai. The homepage of the service is very simple. So you have this form. You have just to, give a name to your app and a prompt. So you need to describe your application. So a name, we can just call it Customer Portal, and let's describe it. So let's start with some context first. So we can say something like we are a web agency and we need a customer portal. Let's say something about the users who are going to access the application. So we can just say that both the customers and the employees will access the application, for example. Now let's say what the customers can see in this portal. We said that the customers need to see their projects and tasks, the shared knowledge base, and their invoices, right? So let's just describe that. Okay, let's suggest something about the filtering, the multi-tenant feature. So we can say, for example, that for projects, knowledge base, and building history, we store the username for each piece, for each item, we store the username of the related customer. Okay, this is useful for filtering data. All right. Finally, we can say something about the UI. So we can say that, for example, giving the main colors. All right, and now you can click here to start the creation. I'm already logged in AppifyText. If you are not, and you click here, the platform will ask you to log in. And if you are not registered, to register, the registration is free. It takes literally 20 seconds, just email and password. No credit card is needed. So if you're not registered, I suggest to pause the video, follow the registration process, log in, and then continue. So let's create the app. Let's click here, create this app. Okay, obviously this is just an example. With AppifyText, you can create many different applications. The kind of application you will see here, you can see here the kind of applications AppifyText is good at. Internal tools, business apps, CRUDs, database apps, admin portals, something like that. But also more personal application. For example, I made an app to manage a collection of vinyls or an expenses tracking application. Okay, let's click here and see the app we have created. Here we go. So this is our application. As promised, we get the application ready to be used. So we have a dashboard with the tasks by status, completed, in progress, pending, and the total number of projects. We have our customers, so we have this left menu with all the main pages. We have our customers, employees, invoices, project with the tasks for each project. As you can imagine, we have the typical CRUD features, so we can search, create, edit, delete our data. We have also inline editing features, so I can directly change the data from here. I have some additional features like chart generation, export to various formats, and something like that. Let's see. Here we have 3 user groups: admin, employees, and customers. So this is the application, the draft of the application we have created. As you can see, we have already some data here. This is just example of data considering our use case. So we said we are a digital agency, so the kind of projects we have are website redesign, mobile app development, and so on and so forth. All right, and the application is again ready to be used, multi-language, multi-users, multi-tenant. What we are going to do now, as usual, first we will try some typical workflow for this use case, using the application exactly as AppifyText created it. So exactly like this, the application you see right now. And then, so for example, we will add project tasks. We will see how the filtering works. And at the same time, I'll take note here about possible improvements. After this first test, I show you two different things. One, how to actually implement these improvements. We will see that together, so please follow the whole tutorial and do it on your own computer, so using your own AppifyText account. And second thing, how, if you want to export the application you have created and modified. Because yes, you can also export the application and deploy it somewhere. For example, on a hosting service you have on your personal computer, basically wherever you want. And once exported, if you want, you can also add your custom PHP and JavaScript code. All right, so let me start with some tests. Okay, so let's start adding a new project. That is a very typical activity, a very typical workflow. We said we are a web agency, so we'll create a new project here for a customer, and the customer will be able to access the project with the tasks and so on and so forth. So let's create a new project. Customer username, name, description, start date, and date. These are the fields that AppifyText decided to propose for describing a project. Well, that's fine. Let's see if we can, if we need something more. So customer username, here we need to choose the customer from a list of customers we have in our application. All right, so let's say that is for an existing customer that is called I don't know, linda.cast. This is just the username of the customer. We will improve this because this is not very clear. Anyway, that's just a reference to the customer we are doing the project for. So projects, I would say change the label, customer username, label just customer, I would say, and improve and change how the list is displayed. Okay, so name of the project, let's say it's a website. Okay, website design, description, blah blah blah, start date and end date. You know, we can leave it blank for the moment. So something that for sure we need in addition to these fields is a status field. So add status field, completed in progress, and I would say also not started. So we have three possible status values. All right, so save. All right, now the project is here. We can add a task to the project. How? So we edit the project. Obviously, we can change something if we need, but we can also add a task. The title could be, for example, font and logo selection, something like that. Okay, description, status, also for the tasks, we have a status field. That's good. It's already there. Well, we can say not started, for example, and due date is October 13th. Okay. Any improvements? What do you think? Any improvements here? Well, probably the status, it would be better to have the status as a list box, okay, with 3 options already available. So status from text box to menu, okay. And also we probably need to well, the tasks could be something the employees, our employees must do, must complete, but also the customers. You know, sometimes you have a project and you ask the customer for some feedback or some documents or anything. So I think it would be better to have something like a field containing the information about who is responsible for the task. Something like assigned to, and there we can choose a customer or an employee. Okay, assigned to field. All right. Well, something else we can do, thinking about reorganizing the menu, is to remove tasks from here, from the menu. This is not, well, if we click here, we just have 5 tasks at the moment, but we could have many tasks related to any project, and this is not very useful. Since we already access the task from each project, then probably we don't need them here. Okay, so remove from left menu. Okay, something very general we always do is change the logo and improve UI. For example, the colors, the icons, I mean the logo of this application. This is just, you know, the default logo AppifyText uses for each new, for a new application, but we need to customize it. So logo, improve UI. Let's go back here and let's move to knowledge base. So knowledge base, we see some items with title, content type, content URL, description, customer username, and created at. That sounds pretty good, but let's try to create a new knowledge base item. Let's just call it manual. Content type, I think it was document or video tutorial. Let's say it's a document, but that would be better. Knowledge base, what was the content type? Content type must be a radio button, so a switch instead of a text box. So a switch allowing me to choose between document or a video tutorial. The URL of the video tutorial in this case, but we don't have a video tutorial. We would like to upload a document, but there's no attachment here. We did not specify the attachment for the knowledge base. We did it for the invoices, so AppifyText did not create it. We should add it. Add file attachment field. All right, description, customer username, even here. So that's again a knowledge base item, a manual that we want a specific customer to see. for example, john.cast. Later I will show you the users, because otherwise this is a bit probably a bit weird. But even in this case, instead of customer username, label customer and change how the list is displayed. Okay, and created at, we can choose a date here, but created at must be automatic, maybe. I don't know, let me think. It depends. Created at, no, created at is probably manual, is the date where that particular manual has been created, and it could be different respect to the uploaded date, so this shouldn't be automatic. Maybe we can add an additional field, uploaded date, automatic additional field. Okay, I'm just listing all the improvements we can implement. I'm not going to implement all of them in this tutorial, just some of them to show you how things work, but I'm taking note of everything that possibly can be improved. Okay, so knowledge base, here we go. Knowledge base, we have our new item. And finally, let's move to invoices. Invoices, okay. And for invoices, we have, once again, the customer, invoice number, amount, invoice date, and PDF file. Okay, this time we have a file, but it looks like, you know, the wrong control here. I don't want to type the name of the file. I want to upload the name of the file. Sorry, I want to upload the file. So let's change it. Changing this kind of thing literally requires 1 second. So I will show you how to change the way a field is rendered in a form in probably a couple of minutes. Okay, so invoices, file must be attachment. Okay, I would also add payment status. That could be paid or pending, or maybe partial also. And what else? Well, to show you how to easily add a formula field, I will also add an additional field, amount plus taxes. Okay, formula field. So we will have an additional field here that you don't need to manually fill. Is based on a formula. So we can add, for example, VAT or sales taxes, okay, to the original amount. So something for sure we need to do every time is user roles and permissions. So basically AppifyText created 2 user groups because that's what we asked AppifyText to do, and some users belonging to those user groups. So those strange names, usernames we saw before, as you can see, are these ones. So John Doe has a username john.cast, okay, mary.cast, which is the term used for all the customers. But that's just, examples. These are just examples of, obviously, we can add more users, we can modify existing users, we can even add more user groups if we want. But what we certainly need to do is to assign permissions to each user roles according to our needs. Okay, I did it here. And what else? I wanted to show you that AppifyText also created starting from the same data, two different views of project and tasks. So this is a tabular view of our projects with start date and end date, and this is a calendar view using the same data. So you will see the project, and you will see in the calendar how long is the planned period during which we will work on this project. Same thing for tasks. We see tasks here. Actually, we said before we are going to remove this, but we also have a calendar view for the tasks, and for each item so each item is displayed in the calendar according to its due date. So here, for example, design mockups, if I double click here, okay, due date October 15th. All right, and go back. Okay, so let's start working on our improvements. Starting from projects, so we'll change the label and we'll add the status field. So to modify this application, you need to click here, edit this app. I will click here, opening the this editing feature in another tab of my browser. So I will keep the application here and the dev area here in another tab. The dev area is the area of AppifyText that we can access only because we are logged in as root, and I will tell you something about that later. That allows you to modify the application. There are many pages here. We will focus on the most important ones, starting from the so-called form configurator. The form configurator allows you to, customize literally each form in your application. So we said we want to improve the project form, changing the label, adding a field. Well, we'll do it from here. Well, almost all from here. Let me add something about this root user. So when you create an application with AppifyText and you click Run the app, by default, you are automatically logged in as root. Root is the user belonging to the admin group that is created by default by AppifyText. Okay, you are, as I said, automatically logged in. However, if you log out, you will need to log in again with username root and password by default Appify. Okay, so I suggest as a first thing to change your password. So you can click here, your account, current password, and new password. The same password, Appify, has been used by default for all the users created by AppifyText. So, obviously, after your tests, if you don't need these users, you can just remove them, or you can, change their password, because not only they will able to log in and change their own password, but also you as admin user, you can change the passwords of other users. Okay, so let's go back here. Form configurator, projects. First thing, label, customer, the label of this one, customer username, need to be just customer, right? So we click here, and this allows us to see all the parameters related to this particular field, customer username, and we can change some of them. I'm not going in all the details because, as you can see, you have a lot of things you can do, but let me just mention a few of them. You can change the label, you can change the position, you can change the field type. We have many field types: text, text area, date, date time, something like that. We can change this option if the field is required or not. We can change the content type, so the content of the field, because according to the content, by default, we have a predefined validation. So, for example, if the content of a field is email, AppifyText, well, the app we have created will apply, a basic validation to the email addresses entered in this field, for example. So let's just start changing the label very easily. Here we go. We change the label to just customer. This is a preview of the form according to our change, but of course we can also see here, create new, and now we have just customer. Okay. The other thing we want to change was this one, how the list is displayed, because here we see the username of the customer, and then again the username of the customer. It's not very useful, not very clear. We can change this. So customer is a select single field. What does it mean? Select single field is literally a drop-down menu where you can choose just one option. In the AppifyText jargon, that is select single. All right. In particular, you have two different select single field types. You can have a custom list of options, so you literally list all the options you need, or you can have a lookup field, like in this case. In this case, the lookup table is the customers table, meaning that instead of having a fixed list of options, we take the options from the customers table, so that if we add a new customer, obviously that customer will be available here. All right. Okay, and here in particular we select what is the field in the customers table we will use as value for this field, and which are the fields we will show to the final user. In this case, it's username again and username again. But it would be better, for example, to show first and last name. Okay? So, John Doe, Mary Williams, and so on and so forth. Now it's more clear. You want to show also the username, add another linked field, username. Okay. Well, let me save and see if it's working as expected. Yeah, John Doe, and then the username. Okay. All right. And this is done. Next thing, add status field. Completed, in progress, not started. So to add a field to a table, we need to move to another section of the dev area, the data section. Here we have, sorry, I moved to another page. I just clicked on the wrong button. I was saying here you see all the tables in our application. Tables are literally the data structures we use to store information, to represent information, to store data. So in the projects table, we add a field, we call it status, and that's a short text field. It will contain just what we said, completed, in progress, not started, and save. Okay, then we go back to the form configurator, project status, and we choose as field type select single. Do you remember select single, the field type we used before for customer? But this time is not a lookup field. We don't get the data from another table. We just specify the three options here. So not started, enter. Completed, enter. And it was in progress, right? Yes, in progress. Okay, status. Not started, completed, in progress. All right. And if you reload the form here in the actual application, you will see the new field. All right, let's close some tabs. Let's talk about tasks now. For tasks, we want to also, well, we already have the status, okay? So form configurator, tasks, field status. I can click on status or select status from here. Instead of text, to avoid the mistakes, we need a select single field also in this case. With, again, not started, completed, in progress, and save. So, well, this was done. This was done. Assigned to field. Okay, data, tasks table. This is our tasks table with all the fields. We add a new field, assigned to short text, and save. We move to the form configurator and assigned to by default is a text box, but by default it's kind of wrong because in some cases AppifyText will use a different field type by default according to, you know, also the field name and other the field type and other hints, but in this case it has been created as text, so it's a normal text box. We don't want that. We want a menu where we can choose either an employee or a customer, so we can once again use select single. The lookup table name will be the users table. The users table is called well, the users table is the table where all the users of the application are stored, and it's called it's always called DaDaBIK users. Why DaDaBIK? You will discover later. DaDaBIK user, the field we want to use to store, here is once again the username of the user, and what we want to show to the final user, that in our jargon is called linked field, is what? I don't know. Again, first name and last name, maybe. Okay? First name and last name. And here we go. Task assigned to, with the list of all the users. All right? Assigned to. Okay, remove from left menu. We can do this very easily, but I will do later when I talk about permissions. So the next time I will work on is logo customization and in general UI. Before moving on, if you are enjoying this video, take a moment to like it. And well, on this video we will publish other similar tutorials each time we build a different application. So if you want to keep updated, subscribe the channel. And finally, if you have suggestions about features you want to see or applications you want to see designed and created here on this channel using AI agents, please leave a comment. All right, so let's move to the logo customization. So this is the page we need to use, layout. On layout we have many different things. One of them is this one. You can change the logo of the application by clicking here, basically. And here is the logo I created. Save. Let's see if it works. Here we go. I imagine that our agency, digital agency, name is Nova Web, and this is our logo. What else you can do? You can change the title, you can change the font, you can pick a theme here. Each theme has, a collection, a palette of colors. You can also, customize this custom theme that is the one AppifyText used. All right, and you can do a number of other things, including adding your own CSS rules. So if you know CSS, you can literally change the elements of the style of the elements of the user interface. All right, another thing you can do, but this time not from here but from here, pages, is adding icons to your menu. So by default we have an icon for dashboard and for home, but we can do the same for the other pages. So for example, for for invoices or for knowledge base, if for knowledge base we want to use a specific icon, well, we click here, icon, and we get a link to box icons. That is the repository of icons we can use. We need to use the regular icons, and we can search something for knowledge base. For example, a file icon is good. I would say file. This is good. The name is just file, so we write here file and save or enter. And here we go. Okay, you can do the same for all the other pages. Okay, let's go back here. Okay. As I said, I'm not going to implement all these improvements, but for sure I want to show you at least other two very important things. One, just to show you the feature, is this one. For invoices, I want to show you how to add calculated, or in this case formula fields. So in invoices, when we add an invoice, we have an amount here. We want an additional field that is a formula field. So again, we move to data, invoices, we create a new field and we call it amount plus taxes. And that's a decimal number, and save. Form configurator, invoices, amount plus taxes. Okay, this is text, and that's fine, but it's also a formula field. Well, it contains a formula. Here we literally specify the formula to use to fill this field. You may know Excel formula. This is a similar concept. Okay, so when I use curly brackets, I can take the value of another field, and here I can see all the fields. In particular, I want to use amount, so amount, okay? So that's the value. So I'm saying take the value of amount and multiply the value by, I don't know, 1. If we consider VAT, for example, and a VAT tax of 22%, we will multiply by 1.22. Okay, that's it. If we come back here and reload, if the amount is 100, amount plus taxes will be 122, automatically calculated. All right. All right, the next thing we will see is how to customize users, user roles, and permissions. So we'll discover a new page of our dev area, permissions. In the permissions page, and in particular in this one, in this sub page, configure group permissions, we can pick up a specific table. For example, I don't know, well, invoices is good. A specific group, for example, employees, and decide what the employees can do with invoices. Not only at the highest level, so on the table in general, they can read the data, they can delete the data, they can edit the data. We can also, let me skip this for the moment. We can also add permissions for each field. So maybe we can say that in general they can edit invoices, but not the invoice number. Something like that. All right. So this is the permissions page. It's very well. Maybe it looks complex, but it's very, very powerful because you have a very granular. Your permission settings are very granular on fields and user groups. Okay, and also you will be able to set row level permissions, and this allows us to say something like, okay, each customer can only see their projects, their invoices, their knowledge base items. All right, let's move on. So invoices. Well, maybe I'm thinking about the fact that maybe we need not just 2 user groups, but maybe 3, because there is also, probably a manager user group that can do like invoice creation or something like that. But let's keep it simple. First of all, the admin group, do you remember we have an admin group, which is the group to which the root user belongs? That's something different. The admin group is the group where users can also edit the application, so they can also access the dev area. So this is a user group that usually you should keep just for developers. So if you are developing the application, okay? The manager user group I was talking about before is instead the manager of the web agency, okay? So it's a bit different. But again, let's keep it simple and let's stay with just 2 user groups, employees and customers. And let's say that employees can read, can delete, can edit, create, view details, and export to CSV the invoices. So the permissions looks already good, okay? And then when we go to the field level, basically more or less everything is already, let me reload here. Well, no, this is something I changed, but I want to keep it as it was. Basically, as you can see, they can act on almost any fields. So for each field, you can choose if the field will appear in the results, and this is the results. So if you don't want amount to be here, you just remove amount from results, okay? And then edit, and you know what this means. Create details page, this is the details page. Quick search, advanced search, and CSV. Quick search is off for everything. What is quick search? Well, basically, if you set quick search, if you disable quick search for all the fields, you will get this omni search field. It's a single search box that you can use to search across all the compatible fields. So here I can write something like 2025. Well, no, that's not the right test to do. Let's do 002. Okay, and I got this because 002 is in invoice number, for example. Okay, but and this is the omni search. Then we have advanced search. So for each field, very granular, we can perform a more precise search. And finally, we have quick search. Quick search means if you add something here, we can do an example with admin. Okay, invoices. I want the quick search field for invoice number and amount, and save. I need to switch to admin because I'm logged in as admin, okay, to show you the impact of that setting. Here we go, invoice number and amount. Okay, that was just an example. Let's go back to employees. Okay, so this sounds good. If it sounds strange, the fact that create ID is disabled, that's actually fine, because by default for each table, AppifyText creates an ID field that is auto increment. So it's auto-generated when you create a new item, a new record. So you don't need that in the create form. All right, good. Invoices, knowledge base, same thing. And we keep it as it is. And projects and tasks. So basically, we have all the permissions by default for all the tables and fields, almost all the fields, and that's okay for employees, but for customers, we need to limit the permissions, right? Also for employees, actually, and only for tasks, we need to do a little customization, because we said that we don't want to have tasks here, right? So we can just do something like that. Read no. If we set here read no, let me do it for admin to show the result. Then we will see the result also logging in as customer and as employee. If I set to no, tasks admin no, this will disappear. Okay, gone. But since it's linked in master detail to project, you can still see the task from here. So this was a project without tasks, but this also. Okay, this one has a task, and as you can see, I can view the task here because I have the read permission on the project, and because the tasks are in a master detail view with the projects. Okay, all right. So employees read no for tasks. Now let's work on the customers instead. The customers have many limitations. Well, we can also set no here for the customers, but also a customer cannot delete a task, cannot, they can edit a task. Let's think about it. Let me check here. Does it make sense? It depends. Let's keep it simple and say no, but maybe you want to make at least the status available for editing to the user, to the customers, and you can do that. You can set edit yes, and then here you set edit available for all the fields, but for the fields you want to show in the edit form but disabled, you click here, and in that case the fields will be disabled. All right, so we can do that actually. So edit yes, create no, details yes, CSV, I don't know, not very important, maybe no. Okay, but in the edit form everything will be disabled except from the status. Okay, good. We don't need, let's take create for example. Since we said create no, a customer cannot access the creation form for tasks. This means that we don't need to work on the granular permission for fields here. We can also leave it to yes, to enabled for all the fields. Why? Because if on the table level the permission is set to no, the customer cannot actually see that form. So what you have here doesn't matter. Okay? Save. And this is tasks. Okay, this was tasks. For projects, we need to do something more. First, let's set the table level permissions so customers can, let's say, read the project. So they can read the information about the project, but they cannot delete, edit, create. We can also set no to export to CSV. All right, but we need something more. We also need row level permissions because we want each customer to see, to read only their project. How can we do that? Very simple. We can add a rule here. Field customer username. Do you remember we have in the projects table, but also in the knowledge base and invoices table, a field containing the username of the customer that item is related to. Well, here we can say that, there is a permission rule saying that customers can access a record only if the customer username field value is equal to current user username user. This literally means when a user is logged in and the user is a customer, so a user belonging to the customers group, then this row level rule applies. And only the project having as a customer username the same value as the username of the current user, so the user who is logged in at that time, then the record is readable. Otherwise, it's not. Okay, I think we should try if this works. This filter works before proceeding. So let's go back to our application. This is our application. Remember, at the moment we are logged in as root, which is an admin user. Now we'll try to log in as a customer and see the differences. So, for example, for projects, there are, let me check. Okay, for example, for Linda Davis, there are 2 projects, okay? These 2 projects. So if we log in as Linda Davis, we should see just these 2 projects. And also, the amount of features available should be less. I cannot create, I cannot delete, I cannot edit. So let's try. So Linda.cast is the corresponding user. In fact, here I can see Linda.cast. Okay. So log out. Linda.cast, password Appify. Okay, projects. Here we go. So I cannot create new projects, I cannot edit or delete existing projects, and also I can only see the 2 projects that are assigned to me, basically. Why we didn't need to do that for tasks? Well, I mean that I meant to add the filters, the row level filters for tasks. The reason is that we removed tasks from the left menu. You can only access tasks from a project. And so in a standard situation, since you have set that row level filter on project, you don't need to do it on tasks as well. However, this is a particular situation where we also have a tasks calendar, which is something different, a view based on tasks. So here, actually, as Linda, I can see all the tasks. So if you want to keep this view as well, well, then we should add a username field to task as well, and row level filtering bot tasks, and well, not necessarily task, but task calendar. Okay, calendar, sorry. All right, so, but anyway, this is working basically. So let me go back to my root account. We were setting permissions. So basically you should do the same for all the other tables and views. And so for invoices and for knowledge base, for the group customers, you also have to set row level permissions if you want to keep this multi-tenant approach. Okay, and very important for customers, you need to set to know all the permissions for the DaDaBIK users and DaDaBIK groups tables. Otherwise, customers will be able to create new users, delete or edit existing users, create new groups, delete or edit existing groups. That is probably not, what you want. All right. Okay. What else? Well, I guess you got the whole permissions thing. One thing I want to do is the following. Well, first, let me rearrange the menu because I don't like the way it's very confusing, basically. So menu, the dashboard is here. That's fine. Obviously, we can. The dashboard had two charts. Let's say. Well, the second one is not a chart. It's just a number, but still. That AppifyText things are useful for our use case, but we can add more charts, more figures. This is completely editable, okay? But I would like to have, let's say, first projects, then knowledge base, and then invoices. Okay, this is, I think, the correct. And maybe we can go to pages. So for the views, we can choose a different parent. We can put these two views in a group that we can call calendars. Okay. Okay. Very good. We can also put some separator. So before projects, we can add a separator. So we have this now. And another important thing, little improvement that you can do is the following. Maybe it could be confusing the relationship you have between users and some other entities. Let me explain. So each employee is also a user of the application, but you have an employee represented bought in the employees table. Let's take Alice, for example. She's here and also here. All right. Okay. So in the employees table, I basically set who is the corresponding user, right? So this means that when I create a new user, and obviously I can do that, users, create new, I can add a new user and assign the user to the employees group. I also have to create the corresponding employees picking up the correct username I've just created. Okay, well, that's good. It works, but if you don't need many additional information for each employee, maybe you can remove this table and just use the users table. Okay, so this means that when you and the same for the customers. So you will remove customers and employees, and to remove a table, you need to go here and delete table, click delete table, and in the various tables like invoices, knowledge base, project, instead of having as a lookup table the customers table, you will have the users table, the one called DaDaBIK users. However, you need to add a filter saying not all. Maybe we can do that. I mean, I can show you something. In projects, customer username, we could, instead of having as a lookup table customers, so we take the values from customers, we could take the values directly from DaDaBIK users, store the username of the user as we did before in the projects table, and as linked fields, so the fields we see in the menu, the final user will see in the menu, first and last name. Okay, so you know the result is pretty similar to the previous one. However, since we are using the users table as lookup table, we will see all the users, not just the customers. So we should add here a so-called where clause saying, okay, don't take all the users, only the user having ID group equal to okay, that's okay, because the rule is not completed yet. ID group equal to 3. Okay, and now I see only customers. That's an alternative and more compact representation of the information. I hope it's not confusing. The previous approach also worked. So if you're more comfortable with the previous approach, you can continue using it. All right. Okay, that's all I wanted to show you about user roles and permissions. Obviously, as I said, you should review, all the other permissions to be sure they meet your needs. But now you know how they work. Another little thing that I want to show you is an example of low coding. So I will show you how to add some additional logic in JavaScript to change the way content is displayed. So custom example of custom formatting function. All right. Let me check. Okay, what I want to do is change the way the status is displayed. When the status is in progress, we want to display, let's say, a yellow or orange dot together with in progress, and we will use other colors for the other the other situations like pending and what was the other one? Not started, I guess. So how can we do that? Again, we can use the form configurator, tasks, status, and here in custom JS formatting code, we can add some JavaScript logic that change the way the value is displayed here in the results table and in the details table, in these two, in the details page, in these two situations. So, well, there is a very simple example here. I can copy and paste, and then we'll comment together. We need something less, probably less complicated. Okay, let me write some code before, and then I will tell you everything. Not started. Okay, the other one was in progress. Else. Okay, so the idea here is we can format the value according to its content, let's say. So if the value is not started, the value of the status, not only we want to show not started, but also a red dot. Else, if the value is in progress, we show the value together with an orange dot, and in all the other case, that's just one remaining case, a green dot. Okay, let's add some space. Okay, status not started, completed, in progress. Okay, let me save this because the original value that was inside was not formatted according to our options, because you remember it was a text box initially. So okay, now it's like that, pending and in progress. Okay, so let's see if it works. Here we go. Okay, so now we have, we have seen how to format with very simple JavaScript logic the content of our database, basically. Okay, this is pure JavaScript, so you can obviously make more complex, you can have more complex formatting logic. Okay, so this was everything I wanted to show about, the implementation of these improvements. All right, let me tell you something about deployment. Okay, so let's click here and see what happens. So basically, when you create an application on AppifyText.ai, this application is temporarily hosted on the AppifyText.ai server for free with some limitations. Temporarily means that the app is freely accessible for 15 days. Okay, so if you log out from AppifyText and tomorrow you log in again, you will see the app you have created in your app library. You can, improve it again and still use it for 15 days with some limitations. So for example, some features are not enabled. Let me show an example. So you cannot import from Excel. This is not allowed. So you have some limitations. If you want to unlock these limitations and continue to use the app after 15 days, you have to export the application from here. So you have to publish and deploy the application somewhere else, wherever you want. On your computer, on your server, on your hosting, on a cloud service. What you are going to do is exporting this application from here and importing it into a DaDaBIK installation. What is DaDaBIK and what is the relationship between DaDaBIK and AppifyText? So DaDaBIK is a no-code, low-code platform. You can use it to build applications, typically internal tools, and you can use it, let's say, manually. So, you start from scratch, from a blank application, you create your tables and so on and so forth, or you can use it through AppifyText. In fact, AppifyText is an AI agent on the top of DaDaBIK. So basically, you tell your prompt to AppifyText, and AppifyText uses DaDaBIK to create an application. So this is basically what we have created is actually a DaDaBIK application. And that's why you can easily export from here and import it into your DaDaBIK installation. Okay? This allows you to, as I said, continue using the application, unlock all the features, link your application to your own custom domain. Maybe you want to, register a domain and use the application with that domain. And also allows you to add your own custom PHP and JavaScript code. I don't know, you want to add a button, a custom button in your application that I don't know, for example, the button can execute some PHP code. For example, I don't know, you can call the API of another service you have, another software you have in your information system to integrate these two applications. You can very easily do it. So, to continue this process, you need a DaDaBIK license. The easiest way to get a DaDaBIK license is starting a free trial from here, and this will give you 30-day free trial of a DaDaBIK Enterprise. Okay, so for 30 days you can use DaDaBIK Enterprise Edition, so you can download DaDaBIK and install it anywhere and use it for 30 days for free. Before the end of this trial, you can cancel if you realize cancel the subscription if you realize you don't like it, or if you continue. Currently the monthly fee is $19 US. Okay, that's the monthly subscription. If you prefer instead a lifetime license, well, then the easiest way is to visit the DaDaBIK.com website. From the pricing page, you see the three editions, and in that case, you buy a license, and that's a lifetime license. All right. I will not show you the whole process because I already did it in the first video of this series, and you will find that video link in the description of this video. So this is just an introduction to, publishing and deploying to another server. I don't want to, repeat everything. You will find, a more detailed video about that in the description. For any questions or any suggestions, obviously you can leave a comment. I think that's it for today, and see you next time. Ciao!